Today I'm going to show you how to properly put on a QAD. There's a couple different methods on how to do this, but this is the way I do it and I found most effective over the years. So I already put the felt on. I use shrink tube and I use part of the felt on the base with shrink tube. I think it looks cleaner and just holds better, but you can use the provided felt from QAD. So what I do first is I line up, if you can see, I line up, put the QAD on there and see if it lines up with the riser. Show you for example. See how it doesn't line up with the riser right there? There's a space. QAD provides a spacer for the rest. So if it doesn't sit flush with the riser, the end of the riser right there, and there's that gap, I use a spacer. So I'm going to put the spacer in. It looks like this little guy, if you can tell. Just like that. They also provide you with a longer screw. You're going to want to use this because if you use the provided screw or the one that's already in there, it's going to not have enough threads and it might hold for a little, but eventually it'll strip out. So what I'm doing is taking out the screw just like that. So there is a little washer on this screw you want to take out. I'm going to put it on the longer bolt. I'm going to take my bolt, put it right in this side here, and then take my spacer, and I kind of just start it, and then put this on here, and then I just kind of hold it together like that. Takes it, getting started is the trickiest part, but if you just kind of keep inward pressure against the rest, it'll screw right in, just like so. And then I just line it up with the center line, just like that, to get it started. And there you go. So once you do that, I'll show you what it looks like. So you know. So now it's sitting flush with my riser. So there, it's sitting flush now. So I have plenty of room for adjustment. The reason that you use a spacer is because you don't want to move this bottom adjustment right here out so that it's in the way in the way of the flight of the arrow. That's why you use that spacer and bring it flush with the riser. All right, so now that I have the spacer in, time to assemble. I use blue Loctite just to help keep everything tight. On the limb bolt, there is a washer that goes on there as well. Put a little Loctite on, and then I'm going to screw the rest to the bow. So when you're screwing this on, you want to see if the riser is level, like straight. If it's not, you want to just put the rest on level. Don't go flush to the riser. You want it as close as you can, but this one's pretty straight, so I'm just going to go pretty flush. And then you also have a set screw. This little guy right here. So before I really crank it down, I put my set screw in. I also Loctite that. and put that in there. Some bows, the set screw does not work because when it goes through that hole, it's just an opening in the riser. This one is going to catch, so I'm going to put it in there. Once it's in, snug it down, and then I snug that limb bolt. All right. So once I do that, I eyeball my center shot. To do that, I put the string. There's a bunch of measurements that you could do, factory specs that a lot of people like to do. I just kind of eyeball it. So I put the string middle of the grip right here, and then I try to center that string inside the rest. So right now the rest is a little in for me. So what I'm gonna do is there's these two sets of screws on the Y of the rest. I'm going to move them to the outer hole. I try to keep the rest center and don't move it until I have to. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So as you can see here, if I center the string in the grip, the rest is slightly to the right. So moving these to the opposite hole will center it up a little more, and I'm trying to avoid bringing this out past the riser because then it'll be in the flight of the arrow, the path of the arrow flight. So if anything, I want to move it this way to get the center shot, and that means this won't be out in the line of arrow, in line of the arrow. So that's what I'm doing. So I got the rest off, and now moving it to the outer two holes. Okay. Then eyeball it again. It's a little out now, so I'm just gonna put the rest in a little bit. Alrighty. So now in the center of the rest is the center of the grip. So that's how I eyeball my center shot. Center of the grip, string center of the grip, string goes through the center of the rest. Just like that. Sorry, it's really hard to hold steady. So now I'm going to put the drop cord into the down cable and tie it in and time it. It does come with a clamp that you can use if you don't have a bow press. I don't preferably love the clamps because I feel like they tear the string and they have the tendency to move. I feel like tying it through the cable and putting a security knot really makes sure things are locked in place. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do that now. Okay, so now I have the bow in the press. You want to put the cord in the downward cable because then it will pull the rest up and get it ready to release. If you put it in upward cable, the string will never pull tight, so that won't work. So you'll want it in the downward cable. To find that, if you're not sure which one it is, you can give a good tug on the string and see which cable is moving down, and it's this one right here. So Elite was nice enough to serve it in at a good place where I can just put the cable right under here. If there is not serving already there, you're going to want to add a good like a 7-7 knot or a good solid knot, anchor knot that won't move. I usually put like the base of the grip or mid of the grip, as long as it's not interfering where the cables cross. So like somewhere in here is good. This one's right here, so I'm just going to use that as my nice solid anchor for the cord to go through. An important note is you do want to pre-stretch this cord because it will stretch just like any other string material. So I give a good pull with pliers, pull the cord, stretch it. That way it'll limit this coming out of time as the shooter gets some shots through it. If this cord is not tight enough, the rest will not drop out of the way in time. So we want to make sure that's nice and tight, and then it doesn't stretch out and lose that timing. So that's why I pre-stretch this cord. All right. So I have this pre-stretched, and I'm going to put some pressure, and I'm going to split the downward cable and insert this cord, the drop cord, through there all the way up to the serving. You want to put it in a way that it's not, this cable isn't going to rotate into the path of the arrow, so you can kind of see when you put it in that the cord's coming out this way. That's important, so it doesn't get in the way of the arrow flight as well when the rest goes down and there's then slack again into the cord. So I always insert it into the string coming from this side. You don't ever want it coming in from the inside of the bow because it will twist the cable as you draw the bow back, and that's not ideal. So you want to kind of put it in through the outside, and that way it's on the same side as the rest and where the cord's coming from. All right, so I got that in. And now she's ready to be timed. So to time your drop cord, you can either draw your bow at full draw or put it on a draw board. You want to make sure your draw length set before you do this. If you do change your draw length, you want to change your drop cord. So right now I'm going to put it on a draw board, put it at full draw. I'm also going to check the timing. You want to make sure all that's done to your bow. I'm not really going to go over the tuning aspect in this video, just the install. So make sure the bow's timed. Make sure draw length set. Then you can go ahead and put this at full draw, and that will time this rest for you. And then we're just going to do a almost like a D-loop knot to solidify it. All right. The other cord's coming out and not in the path of the arrow. That's what you want it to look like. Put it around full draw. Make sure the cord is tight. Now that I got the timing of the drop cord after putting the bow in the draw board and putting it full draw, this is the length I need. So I'm going to tie it in to solidify it. So some people just cut and burn a knot or cut and burn a ball. I like to do a safety knot, so it's like the beginning of the D-loop. It's like one side of your D-loop knot. So I go over and then come out. It's really hard to show. The same way, just like that. And then pull. I'll take some pliers and pull the tag in, and then what I'm going to do is cut here, and that's what I'm going to burn my ball to finish. Now I'm going to cut a little tag in, just like so. I don't know if you can see. And then I'm going to fluff it up. And this is about the only ball that I'll smush for my knots. D-loop balls and all that I don't smush, but this one I do. And then that's how you install your D-loop. Finishing knot. If I can get the focus, will look just like that. And you're ready for paper tune. Alright, so now that you got your rest installed, your bow's timed, draw length set. This doesn't have all the accessories on yet. but usually I would do that before paper tuning as well. But now your boat is ready to paper tune or bare shaft tune, depending on what you prefer. But yeah, that's how you put on the QAD. That's how I do it, and how I found it to be most effective, and not that way your cord and your timing doesn't come off, your knot doesn't pull through the cable. You don't have to worry about that football piece sliding up and down the string. So yeah, that's how you install QAD. Thanks for watching.